What's everybody up, everybody? This is Over the Ropes. I'm Tyler. That's Cortland.
Going
And
on?
what's up, buddy? Today we
How
got
are you?
our Smackdown review. We got some notes for the week. It's pretty late at night, so we're gonna get straight onto this. All right,
Let's do it.
let's do this. So, did you watch AEW this week?
I did. I had a little bit of a date night, so I wasn't live, but I watched it before I got to bed. I watched most of it. I finished the rest during breakfast on Thursday.
Okay, yeah, I know said we were gonna do the review, but some personal stuff
Yeah.
came up and made it difficult. But the reason I asked is because the first note we have on here is that Megan Bain signed with AEW. That's the first
Yeah, she was in that. She was in that. I don't remember what they call it,
the
but it was kind of like
Casino
a
Battle Royal.
random entry battle royal. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never seen her
Nice.
wrestle, but she looked badass. Big,
Good.
strong.
Nice.
Hell yeah. She had an
Yeah.
aura about her that I was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Like,
Great word for it.
I'm interested.
Caught my attention for sure.
Yeah. Caught mine instantly. And I was like, I can't
Yep.
wait to see what she does. So that's news number one. Number two. That's a positive AEW story. Now we're gonna hit the typical AEW news right now.
Yep.
AEW has removed all Ray Phoenix merch from AEW shop, so they're not letting him wrestle. They're making him stay at home, and now they took all of his merch sales from their shop.
You know how much longer he has on his contract?
I don't know how much they added, however much he was injured. So I think I've heard some people say like 6 to 8 months. A
Oof.
long time to be sitting
And
at
now he
home,
can't even make money off
and
merch.
now he can't even make money off merch. I don't know why they keep shooting themselves in the foot. Like, you would think that with all the negative publicity, they would be like,
Yeah.
all right, let's like chill out a little bit, and
Yeah, you
you
think so?
know, but no, nope. Uh, so I mean, I feel like at this point it's like they're just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it sucks. Uh, Jim Ross on his podcast said he was surprised by the buzz about Penta's WWE debut. Did you see this at all?
Yeah, I think someone sent into our wrestling group chat. Yeah, I don't know what he's surprised about, but
Pretty much, he just said he's like every other luchador, and it just seemed like sour grapes that he left AEW. You know,
yeah, I think he's the best luchador going. So I don't know.
and
Kind of a hot take, Jr.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Dave Meltzer, Tony Khan was unhappy with AEW talent for publicly being publicly happy for Penta. I mean, the
Shame
stories,
on wrestlers for supporting each
yeah,
other.
just the stories just keep going and going and going. According to the Wrestling Observer, uh, other AEW wrestlers are criticizing Black for not wanting to do business towards the end of his AEW contract. Now, I have a strong opinion about this because I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not there. You're not there.
Absolutely.
But what I do know is I've never heard of Alistair Malachi Black refusing to do anything. I've never heard of Jade before she left AEW refusing to do anything. I had never heard of
Yeah.
Ricky Starks refusing to do anything. I never heard of Rusev refusing to do anything. But now all of a sudden, when these people are leave AEW or getting ready to leave AEW, now all of
Yep.
a sudden they're refusing to do this or refusing to do the job here. And I feel like that's just too much coincidence for it to be
Yeah.
true. So I'm calling
Yeah.
bullshit.
I
You
think you're
know,
right.
it's just like, I don't know. Everybody, even the people that leave AEW, says Tony Khan's a great guy. He seems like he must be. But it's like, why do you guys just continuously make yourself look worse and worse and worse when you should be doing the exact opposite.
You think you'd learn by now? I don't know.
You would
That's what I
think.
keep hoping and thinking, but it's not happening. So.
No. Now, give me your viewpoint on this WWE TNA partnership.
Yeah, I had a pretty crazy work day yesterday, so I didn't get to see it live. I was hours behind it. I'm excited, but I'm also like the timing kind of seems odd because it looked like this was happening, and there was some back and forth a few months ago, and then I feel like it kind of stopped. But I love it. I'm all here for it. And I feel like there's quite a few guys right now in WWE that have been in TNA, and a little bit of vice versa. I
Yep.
think the things I'm most excited about, I liked Joe Hendry on WWE TV. I'm excited about that.
Love Joe Hendry.
I think that we're going to get one more Hardy's title run
Yep.
in the WWE.
Yep.
And I like the exchange of some of this women's talent. I'm excited to see someone like Jordan Grace go up against like Charlotte and Rhea
Oh yeah.
and some of these bigger, badder performers. I'm excited about it. I'm all for all of this, like the sharing of talent.
Yep.
So I love it.
I know you're a big fan. Did you listen to Busted Open today?
Nah.
Okay.
Not on long work days like this, unfortunately. I haven't heard of people.
Right. So they have Bully and Tommy on today. And they asked Tommy,
Perfect.
yeah, right. And they asked Dreamer about it, and you know how Dreamer answers stuff. He kind of talks around it, but it really sounded like it's gonna be a lot of like how the WWE ECW relationship was, where one
Okay.
will reach out to the other, say, "Hey, we would like this person for this length. This is the build up. This is how we're both going to look good out of it. If you
Yep.
want to contribute on your show, this is what we're building to or whatever." And then probably to some degree for people like Jordan Grace and Josh Alexander, for instance, whose
Yep.
contracts are coming up, who are determined to hit free agency or see what they're worth. I think
Yep.
TNA is going to give WWE like you can talk to them before their contract's up, because if they sign
Okay.
with
Nice.
you, we could still use them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
So
that's nice.
Tommy didn't come out and say that, but that's what it made it sound like. And yeah, I
Okay.
think it's great. Like it's a contractual partnership,
Yep.
and WWE's working with another major wrestling company in the North American wrestling company, and I think that's
Yep.
great. Like, Bill, if they sign into something with Noah, can wrap all
Yeah.
three of them into one,
Yeah. That'd
that
be
would be
fantastic.
that would be sweet.
I can only hope this just brings more eyes to TNA because they totally deserve it.
Oh,
So
for sure. I love TNA. Like, we're definitely, unless something massively changes, we're definitely not going to do like TNA reviews every week. But like, I watch it as much as I
yeah,
can. I have TNA Plus, so it's good. Like, TNA's great. I love a lot of the wrestlers there. So I'm super for this, and hopefully, frankly, that means we get to see more of it than we've already had. So,
yeah. I'm
uh,
excited to see some Ziggler too. Nick Nemeth now.
yep, yeah.
I always enjoyed watching him.
Hot take, and people can call me what they want for it. I know there's a lot of fixing that needs to be done, but I'd love to see some Tessa in WWE.
Yeah.
I know she got the history. I know she got a lot to
Yep.
work on, but you can't deny her talent. Like,
On a scale of Shawn Michaels to Hulk Hogan, I hope she's Shawn Michaels.
exactly
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yep. Um, so I don't know where he said this. I've just seen it reported that SmackDown is inevitably going to go back to 2 hours in May or June. I hate this. I think SmackDown 3 hours is perfect. I think Raw and SmackDown both 2.5, 3 hours is perfect. I think that's where Triple H really gets his feel. I feel
I think 2.5 is a sweet spot. I love it. 2.5 is great for me.
2.5 is great for Raw. Obviously, that's not going
Yeah.
to be a thing for SmackDown. I'd rather it be 3. I feel like 2 hours, there's some people that's not,
Some guys that don't get on.
right, exactly. So I'd much rather it stay at 3. I don't know why. I don't know if it's actually happening, but that's the report. And finally, Jordan Grace says after this contract was signed that she thinks an Ultimate X match will happen at WrestleMania, which, again, is just a random prediction. This is less of a news and more of a question, which is how would you feel about TNA-based matches on WWE pay-per-views, like Ultimate X, or you remember the King of the Mountain match they used to do at Slammiversary?
Yeah,
Something like
vaguely.
that.
Isn't that where the Iron Survivor match came from? Is it that match?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's ladder match, and then you also had to get a pinfall to like be able to get it off the ladder or something. It was a little
Yeah.
convoluted, but I mean it was cool. I always liked TNA, so
I think it's a little soon for like this WrestleMania. I don't think
yeah,
they
no,
should
no,
be
no,
involved in any of these like immediate
right,
PLEs, but I think that's definitely something worth working to.
yeah.
I'm totally here for it. I mean, as long as it makes sense, have at it.
Yeah, I mean, I
As
don't
long as
have
we're not doing it for the sake of doing it.
right. It has to be a story and a reason.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't want them to just do like a TNA match and a WWE PLE just to have it, like with just TNA wrestlers. Because I feel like
Right.
WWE's already has so many people that don't get to
Yeah.
go on pay per views. So if you're gonna do like an Ultimate X match, a King of the Mountain match, or something that's like a TNA based match, it needs to be a mixture of TNA and WWE wrestlers. And like you said, there
Yeah.
needs to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our news for the day. Let's get into SmackDown. I thought
Yes,
over
sir.
an overview. I thought SmackDown was solid. I feel like it progressed some of the newer stories, and I thought it was a good show. It was breezy enough. Like I didn't find myself looking at the time or anything like that. I thought it was an enjoyable, breezy show. What do you think?
As someone who just came off of a 12-hour workday, I was zonked, and I turned this on. That show open had me ready to run through a brick wall.
Yep.
I loved that open by Wade and Tessitore come through the back and out into the stadium. It was an electric feel. Everyone was into it. And something about the way Tessitore, presents this makes it feel like a little bit more of like an authentic sports program. Like someone who watches a lot of professional sports, like he just gives it that feel. I love the stats that he brings.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's been a great addition, and I was totally reinvigorated, and I was able to breeze through this 3-hour show easily.
Yeah. I thought it was good. Um, Speaking of commentators, looks like Corey Graves deleted those tweets. So hopefully that means everything is good and good to go for
Yeah,
Tuesday.
hopefully he's making good on that, and
Yeah,
he'll be back.
hopefully.
I haven't seen that he got
We'll see.
released yet, so that's good
No,
news.
no. Yes, it is.
Good
So
news.
the show starts off with Rey Mysterio coming out. I mean, they're in San Diego, so that makes sense.
Hometown
Oh
guy.
yeah. My second note on my note sheet is this old ass man just said no cap. Uh,
Yeah, I noticed that. Is this Ray or is this Dom?
so he
Yeah.
announces that he's going to be in the Rumble. KO
Yep.
comes out to interrupt him. KO says he respects Ray more than anyone else in the locker room. He said he hopes Ray wins the Rumble so they can wrestle each other at Mania. And you just knew
Did
where
you
this.
see Kevin Owens' shirt?
Yes, I did. I didn't put in the
The
notes what it said,
Canadian
but
dream son of a security systems technician. I laughed so hard, and as my girlfriend was on her way to bed, she looked at it and she's like, "What does that shirt mean?" And so I handed her my phone and I typed in a Dusty Rhodes promo and I said, "Watch this."
yeah, Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious, man. I thought that was a neat little plug. I like how he's been using his T-shirts to antagonize his opponents. I
Yeah.
think it's good stuff from KO.
Yeah, I mean, Addict's been watching the Raw and SmackDown with me, and he was watching, and I told him, I said, dude, I said, just the little details that Owens puts in his shirts, even during the match, he's
Yep.
wearing the Rey Mysterio Hall of Fame shirt.
Yeah, I
Like,
thought that was great.
that's why he's the best, because even the small
Yeah.
details, he's making sure they get in there. So after he tells Ray he hopes he wins, Ray reminds him, "Hey man, you ain't the champ. Right now Cody's the champ, but if you beat him at the Rumble, then hell yeah, I'd love to wrestle you." And obviously that pisses KO off. Mysterio tells him he's delusional and he reminds him of Dom. KO attacks him and Ray ends up chasing him off. And KO starts screaming at the camera, "I'm not Dom! I'm not Dom!"
Yep.
Great opening. Great opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good little way to set up this match between two people that's never wrestled before. Can't believe these two have never had a match.
Unbelievably,
Isn't
yeah.
that
I was surprised
crazy?
to see that.
Where
Yeah.
like you get that two people that's been in the same company for like 8 years and somehow they've never wrestled each other or however
At
long,
least, yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So then we get to match number 1: Nia Jax and Candice LeRae versus Bianca and Naomi. All this announces that Ray versus KO tonight. Before they came out, Bianca and Naomi were talking about Jade's attacker. They said that there was still no news about it. Did you see Jade's tweet?
I did not, no.
Jade put out a tweet that said, "Are you sure?" So
Okay, I was just thinking about that when she said that. She made a point saying, "Still no lead." I
yeah.
was curious, like, when do we hear from Jade,
Mm-hmm.
and like, when do we get a
The
resolution?
Rumble, right? She comes back at the Rumble.
Yeah, that'd be neat. Maybe out's one of them then. But I've been stewing on it since I asked you the last time we talked about it, and the more I think about it being Bianca, I think that's great.
That's great, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it ends up being that way. This match is pretty good. Nia starts off the match by sucker punching Naomi. Candice had a good chunk of this start of this match in the ring, which I love. Like the more screen time she gets, the more she gets to show the spotlight of how good she is. The more I'm in for it.
Yeah, she's a fantastic wrestler, so it's good to see her capitalizing on.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
I only see bits and pieces of like indie stuff, but I saw that tag title match with her and who was it, Roddy? There's that famous picture. They're both covered in blood. It was like I think it was like a Ring of Honor PWG show, and Candice was nuts on the indies. Naomi ends up getting the hot tag, and then Naomi ends up getting the pin on Candice. It was a solid tag match. I mean, what you'd expect from all four of these girls.
Yeah.
I hated
I
that.
did see Nia laid a leg drop on Candice on accident, so that's
Yep.
one each for each of these teams now, where someone accidentally took out their teammate. So
Uh huh.
seems to be kind of running theme here in the Triple H era with some slow dissension among tag teams. I
Slow.
definitely think there's a boil on the way with Bianca breaking up with some of her teammates, but curious if that leads to anything with Candice and Nia.
Yeah, I mean, you would think to some degree it's inevitably going to, because like Candice only joined because she obviously wanted to do what Tiffany ended up doing. You know what I'm saying? So maybe she ends up turning on Nia, and then she goes with Tiffany or something and tries to start smoozing her like she was doing Nia. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey,
right.
watch her win the Money in the Bank coming up.
Oh, that's a solid choice. That's a
Right, Helen?
solid choice. After Naomi and Bianca get the win, it's announced that they're going to defend their women's tag team titles against Meta 4 on the January 28th edition of NXT. Man, those two are so good. Jackson and Lash.
They've gotten a lot better. I think Lash Legend is really entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Great size, great look. Not much of a Jackson fan yet, but I think Lash is freaking awesome.
Yeah, they're getting there. Like, yeah, they
Yep.
still got a lot of work to do, but they're getting there.
They made some strides though.
Definitely made some strides.
Yep.
Then we get a Bailey interview in the empty arena. I love when they do these empty arena interviews. They're so good. She says she felt like her last title run wasn't that good and she didn't fulfill the potential she could do as champion, which I would say we all agree with. The
Yep.
build up with her and Io was incredible, and then her
And then
title
it just
run
fell
was
flat.
nothing.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know what was up with that.
I think that's. I don't want to say it's a tendency yet, but I will say that that's not the first time that Triple H has had a great build up and
Great
then
chase.
great chase, and then what happened afterwards. Kind of
Yep.
same thing with Miz and Truce tag team title win. That was an incredible build
Yes.
to Mania, and then afterwards
Yep.
it was like nothing. So we're gonna give him some time, but that is a trend that's not going in a great direction.
Thank you.
Piper Niven and Chelsea come in and start talking straight shit to Michin and BFAB. Just, I
Yeah.
love. We say it every week, but I love Chelsea Green so much. Oh,
Their little
she's
segments are so great.
so good. And Piper, you know,
The
being
security guard.
being with Chelsea has brought out the personality. Yeah, just coming in, looks straight at Meechin and BFAB. Yeah, no threats here.
That was so funny.
To
Yeah.
disrespect. Like,
Yep.
BFAB ends up challenging Piper to a match, which we get later. And then they do the Jimmy does his entrance through the back. I like how Jay does his through the crowd. So they've been having
Yeah.
Jimmy do the same thing but through the backstage area.
Yep.
So it's kind of like a mirror of like, yeah, we're twins. Yeah, we're the Usos. We do a lot of things the same, but we're different. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I like that. Then we got Jimmy Uso and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo came out talking shit to Jimmy during his entrance. Says Roman's in the Rumble. Jay has a title match, and Jimmy ain't doing shit. It's pretty much what he says.
Said Jimmy lives in the shadows of Jay, who's living in the
Say
shadows of Roman. I thought that was a good line. I
that was
like that.
that was a great line. Yeah,
Yep.
match was really good. I mean, these two are incredible. Jimmy hits the vertical suplex on the apron. Instantly
Yep.
cringed. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I thought this was a really, really good match.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was probably my favorite match of the show. It's either this or the main event, but I thought they looked great, and I think that these are two guys who, when I see them going into matches, I'm like, I want to love this, I want to love this, and I think I found myself lately not always like, I was so bummed about the Usos match at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
and I'm just like waiting to love a Jimmy match. I've been waiting to love a Carmelo match since he got called up to the main roster, and finally from both of them. I really, really liked what I saw from these guys. That springboard DDT
Mm-hmm.
by Carmelo was insane. The timing, he executed that money
Yeah.
dead on balls.
Have that in all capitalized letters in these notes. That move was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that and the pop up Samoan drop. I mean, both of these guys knocked it out of the park. And I like when Jimmy does a little. You know how the Rock had his little people's punch, you spit in his hand. When Jimmy does the
The Kishi
God,
dance. Yeah.
dude. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's so good.
I also had I guess they call it the first 48, but Mello hits the code breaker
Oh,
when Jimmy jumped off the top
yeah,
rope. Oof. I was like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um,
Awesome match.
a great match. Jacob and Tamatunga came out, jumped Jimmy. Match gets DQ'd. Then they attack Carmelo because he's trying to act all buddies with him.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. Mello needs some wins.
bad. I
Bad.
wish they waited until after the match for some interference, but
Right.
it's what it is.
Mello needs some wins bad. I mean, he was the first draft pick to SmackDown. You compare him and Braun because they're going to be compared, and it's not even close. Braun's two-time Intercontinental Champion and looks like a monster. Melo's thing is I don't miss, and all he's been doing is throwing bricks. So my boy needs some wins.
Yep.
So after the beatdown by Jacob and Tama Tonga, Solo comes out, dressed to the nines as usual. Jacob hands Solo the mic. The fans
And he gets booed out of the place.
boos the shit out of him, and he
Yep.
drops the mic and leaves. Do you
Yep.
think? Do you think that's a he got booed out, or a like self confidence? I'm like not worthy. Like, do you think it was the fans or him for the reason why he
Him.
ended up leaving? Yeah, me too.
Him. I think he's kind of lost his way, and he's probably in his head
Yep.
right now. And I think there's going to be some dissension among that group as well. I think
Oh yeah.
him and Jacob Fatu are going to butt heads here sooner than later.
Oh yeah. Because Jacob ends up grabbing the mic. He says he's tired
Sir.
of disrespect. He's tired of the hate. Says they don't get. He doesn't care if they get booed or cheered. He said the one thing you ain't gonna say about me is I don't get mine, because that's exactly what I've done. He says we're just getting started. And,
Yeah. And that's scary when you think about it, but it's
yeah.
real.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then who comes out? Yeah, LA
Yeah.
Knight. He come out, jumps them both from behind. They of course get the upper hand, and fucking Braun Strowman comes out of nowhere for the save.
Good to see him back.
Oh yeah, him and Jacob go face to face. Tama Tonga pulls him out of the ring. That's gonna match was announced for Saturday night's main event. That is gonna be a hell of a match. Jacob and Strowman, monsters.
Yep.
Monsters.
And they announced that at the main event, you said? Saturday night main event?
Yep. So it's going to be Gunther and Jay, Jacob and Strowman, Sheamus and Braun Breaker, and then the Shawn Michaels thing with Cody and KO.
Cody and KO.
Yep. After that segment, Legata's in the brainstorming. Santos giving Los Garza pep talk on why they need to win and what they need to do to win. Nice little segments. Get Santos on Electra on TV. And then go straight into the third match. Motor City Machine Guns versus Los Garza. I mean, typical Motor City Machine Guns match. Dude, their tag team moves are so smooth and quick. They're the best tag team on this roster. Like, easily.
They are so crisp, and I don't remember which commentator said it, but I feel like one of them said 2 bodies, 1 mind.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't say it any better.
Yeah.
But I also liked what I saw from Los Garza. I think they showed more power than we generally see from them. And they pulled out like a few moves that I personally don't remember ever seeing from them. But that like float over gory special, dude, out of this world. That needs to be a finisher today.
Yeah.
That move was awesome.
Yeah, they hit that springboard roundhouse kick on Sabin, and Shelly got power slam right behind.
Yeah.
That was excellent. I was like, wow.
Garza's got some strength, man.
Yeah.
Like, for a cruiserweight, he's a strong kid.
Yeah. No, that was...
I'm just itching for these guys to get a push.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because, like, again, like we were saying, there's so many guys on the roster. Because, yeah, they were smooth. I mean, they kept up with Motor City Machine Guns. I've heard this conversation, and I know some people are wildly against it. If we're only going to have 5 or 6 matches on the pay-per-view, when it's not a big 5, I guess, if you count Money in the Bank show, they need to go back to the single-branded pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I mean, because they especially only having these few matches on the pay-per-views, they just don't, like teams like Los Garza that deserve more of a, like, a mainstream push, title matches, they're not going to get it. You know what I'm saying? That was the best thing about 2003, 2004 was the fact that you get the rivalries, like, Eddie and Tajiri winning the tag team titles. You wouldn't have gotten that if those were co-branded pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hardcore Holly wrestling for the world title at the Rumble the one year. Like, I remember Bruce Pritchard on one of his podcasts saying that they had a meeting, a talent meeting. Hardcore Holly goes, I have an idea how to make that world title match even better. You put the belt on me and then let me beat everybody. So
Oh,
yeah,
Bob
sounds about
Holly.
right. Pretty Deadly comes out, tries to help Garza, ends up screwing them and sending machine gun. I love Pretty Deadly. They're so hapless. They're so
I was
hapless.
so bummed.
Oh, they were bummed. They were so disappointed
Yeah,
in
they
themselves.
done goofed it.
Oh yeah. Shelly gets the pin on Berto with the skull and crossbones to get the win. Um, all this, the whole show's been trying to get Cody and KO to sign a change to their contract. I'm assuming it's going to be like, we're not liable for whatever you guys do to each other. I mean, I don't really know what else it would be, but
Yeah, I was curious what it was going to be. At first, I thought it was just going to be no more contact between you two until we get there, so that they don't rip each other's heads off. But the fact that it didn't happen tonight, I think it might be closer to what you're saying.
yeah, because I mean, you're going to get SmackDown next week. Then we got Saturday night's main event. Then there's only one SmackDown between then and the Rumble. So maybe it could be something like after this match, you guys are done, go your separate
Yeah.
ways. Maybe a loser goes to Raw or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. You know, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it has to be something. They're putting it on Saturday night's main event. So maybe that is what it is. Loser goes to Raw. Ship Kevin over to Raw with uh, Drew and Seth and Sammy and Jay.
Yeah. Loser has to drink Hulk Hogan's beer.
Oh, oh shit!
Mm,
That's man. I'd be fighting for my life. Then
I'll drink to that.
we got Piper Niven versus B-Fab. Dude, B-Fab's entrance. Holy shit! Star,
Yeah.
star. I love that
And she had a good
entrance.
performance in that the triple threat qualifier for the
Mm-hmm.
US title, I thought.
Yeah, she's another one
Yeah.
that's getting better and better. I mean, she did really good in this match. That triple threat match, she was out of this world for what I've seen
Yeah.
her
She
do.
showed up.
Yeah, this match was good. You
Yeah.
got Chelsea talking shit on the outside the whole match, and
Yeah.
I literally noted her B-Fab's wrestling's getting better every time you see her.
Yep.
B-Fab ends up jumping off the apron, taking Chelsea out, which gives Piper the opening to get the win.
Good to
After
see Piper finally won a freaking match.
Yeah, yeah, she don't win many either, and she's so
Yeah.
talented. She's so
She's
talented.
a, I can't wait for her to get a run on her own. I can't wait. I hope she's the one that gets the belt from Chelsea. I think that that'd be a fun story, but I think Piper needs a run with a title belt here soon. She was someone I was excited about in NXT UK and someone that I was excited to watch prior to getting to WWE. Actually, I used to follow her on Twitter,
Oh yeah,
artist formerly known as Twitter, all the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's great, and she'll eventually get a title, regardless if it's her getting this off Chelsea or world title down the line, maybe an
Yeah.
intercontinental title after they do the draft. But she'll definitely get one. Piper and Chelsea jump B-Fab until Michin comes out with that good old kendo stick, clears the ring. They probably end up doing like a tag match or something, but
Tag match.
which will be great because the more B-Fabs in the ring with people like Chelsea and Michin and Piper, the better she's gonna be. So,
Agreed.
yeah. Tiffany does an interview. She says she doesn't live in the past because she's the current, and pretty much just says Bailey lives in the past. Nice little quick promo. I don't think there was anything like big out of it, but it was all right. Then we got
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens. Victoria shown in the crowd
I saw that.
Yeah.
What a clapback that
We
is.
gonna get Victoria in the Hall of Fame? We should.
Oh, good call.
We
Okay,
should.
yeah.
We should.
Two-time champ, at least.
Uh, no, more than two. I'm pretty sure.
Might need to
Yeah.
fact check that, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
She
She
was
won a couple
she was
titles.
like dominant. That was back when we watched together, man. That era.
You remember when her and
Great.
Trish had that hardcore match at Survivor Series?
That is the moment I was thinking about,
Yep.
actually.
Yeah, and then she
Yep.
was in that weird like lesbian throuple group with Candice Michelle and Tori Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, Vince.
Ray's wife and daughter is in the front row.
Yep.
Did they?
I like.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, all you.
No, did they show him talking shit to Ray's daughter? Because I saw it on Twitter, but I don't remember seeing it, so I don't know if
I missed it, but I was also eating dinner during this match, so there was a couple times I did look down. But yeah, I saw a clip of it on Twitter. It might have been. Was there a commercial break in this match? There must have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like he threw Ray towards the to the barricade and then mouthed off at Aaliyah.
Yeah.
And because I started behind, I fast forwarded through the commercial, so I definitely missed it.
Yeah, me too. That's why I was like, I wonder if they showed that, because I was fast forwarding through the commercials.
What I was gonna say though, I love the hometown attire, and I think that I noticed that with a lot of the California natives. I've noticed it more in general. Some of these superstars having some like specific to the region merchandise for just that show. But a lot of the California people, Bailey on Monday,
Yep.
Jay Uso had the San Jose Sharks shirt.
Yep.
Jimmy Uso tonight had like kind of 49ers color scheme.
Yep.
And then obviously Ray with the Padres gear, and he had Padres color shoes and a mask. So I love like those small details, and I think that that's something we're seeing more of. It reminds me of when Brock used to have the T-shirt and the exit. It was either the exit or something had a reference to wherever they were. I'm glad that we're starting to see some of that stuff again.
Yeah, I didn't even. I'm glad you pointed that out, because I didn't realize Ray was doing the whole Padres thing.
Yeah, he had pinstripe pants on, and then all the yellow and brown.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't notice that. Dude, first note, I said Ray looks so damn good for being 50 years old. He's still smooth.
I cannot believe he can still do it the way he does.
That slide under the bottom rope into the belly flop.
I thought he was gonna. I don't know why, but I was like, that just broke that man's wrist. That's the first thing I wrote down.
Yep.
Ooh, that every time he does that move, I cringe.
KO did the Eddie shimmy before hitting the 5-star frog splash. Got a big Eddie chant.
Yep.
Big Eddie chant, which
awesome.
is,
Yep.
I was listening to Chris Van Fleet's interview with Dom yesterday, and they talked about Eddie a little bit. And I actually listened to 2 Dom interviews yesterday where Chris Van Fleet's, and then he was on O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s wrestling podcast. No Contest, I think it's called. And both interviews he talked about Eddie a little bit, and like, it's crazy that this year it's been 20 years since Eddie died, and he still affects wrestlers and fans like us 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? That's just, it's nuts to show the kind of talent that he had to affect people that way, you know?
Heck of a legacy, man. There's a lot of people our age that look up to him. I mean, off the top of my head, Peyton Royce and Mercedes are our age, and I mean, those are, he's their favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
A lot of gear inspirations, and I know Peyton Royce is like our exact age.
Is she? Okay.
Yeah, I think we might be up on Mercedes a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I think so. KO falls into the ref. I don't know if it was intentional or not. My boy looks like he just fell over. I'm just saying.
I noticed, not to harp on these guys, and I'm not going to say that I could ever do what they did, but he seemed to be having, like, I don't know if he's having some sort of, like, vertigo issue, but he seemed, like, a little off kilter. When he went up top before he did the Eddie Shimmy, and he always seems so sure-footed, but there's just, like, a couple times, like, I don't know if he got his bell wrong or what, but I did notice that he looked a little,
He he might have.
off.
He might have. He might have. And
Yeah.
um, him falling into the ref knocks Ray, crotches Ray. Pop up power bomb, gets the win. 1, 2, 3. Then he set Ray up, fake shake hands, and then sent him up. He was gonna do the package
Package pile
pile
driver.
driver. Yeah. Cody comes flying out, makes the save. Cody and KO brawl until they get separated. And that's when, after commercial break, all this announces that on Saturday night's main event, both Cody and KO will be giving their belts up. And they will
Yep.
sign this renewed contract. And he pretty much said, I'm not done dealing with y'all, so now HBK is going to deal with y'all. And we all know if HBK is on a show, I'm going to be hype and I'm going to be ready to go because HBK is the greatest wrestler of all time. And anybody
Yes,
who
sir.
thinks it's Bret Hart can themselves because it's not.
Yeah, I'm Team HBK. Let's go.
Hell yeah. That's when we get Strowman versus Jacob, Fatu for Saturday night's main event. Next week on SmackDown, we get LA Knight versus Tamatonga.
Yeah.
Motor City Machine Guns versus Pretty Deadly. And then we come back to the back where DIY yell at Pretty Deadly and Ciampa chews them the fuck out. Pretty much just calls them just losers. You both suck.
Yep.
You both losers. I hate both of you. Grow up.
Yep.
Apollo comes out, starts laughing at them, and Johnny comes out of nowhere.
Cleans him out.
Smokes his shit. I hope we get Gargano versus Apollo.
Man, they could have a banger. Give those guys at least 10 minutes.
I was just about to say,
Hey,
give them a
eat
10-minute
some popcorn.
match. Oh, yeah, let them go.
Yes, sir.
And then we got the main event, Bayley versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez in the crowd after NXT. Yep.
Yeah.
And then we get
I expected her to play a little bit of a spoiler in this one and cost Bailey the match.
Me too. I was like, oh, what's gonna happen here? And then we get a
Yeah.
Charlotte return video. You didn't see
Oh,
it?
I must have missed that. Yeah.
Right after they show Roxanne. Right after Tiffany's entrance. There's a Charlotte return video package.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Know.
You didn't go back and
Where I
watch it. It's
looked,
actually
yeah.
pretty good. I'm not a Charlotte.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm not a Charlotte person. I'm not gonna lie. She's great in the ring, but I was real sick of her. Vince was every other time she was winning the belt.
Yeah.
But that video.
I'm not her biggest fan, but you can't deny her talent, and I do miss having her on the show, so I'll be excited to get her back.
I was telling somebody today. I was talking a little wrestling with some people, and we were talking about the Tessa Blanchard thing, and I was explaining the backstory and what her and people in TNA have said about, hey, she's been having the conversations, she's been taking what people are saying and taking it and things of that nature. And I told him, I said, my ideal, she gets on the right track, you bring her to WWE, and then you have Blanchard and Flair start a woman's 4 horsemen stable in the WWE.
That we need a sec.
Especially with those two. Just the talent between them, So then we get the main event, Tiffany Stratton versus Bayley for the world title, and I mean, what a damn match between these two, right?
Really good. That's a great showing for Tiffany's first defense.
Hell yeah. I mean,
a lot of great reversals, some submissions, working body parts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big moves. That Bailey to belly on the outside was awesome. Tiffany is one of those performers that I look at and I watch and I'm like, if she's this good now, doing it for as short as she has been, like, she gives me Randy Orton vibes. Like, she's going to be really freaking good. And I feel like I don't want to say she's barely trying, but she just makes it look so easy. Is what it is. Like I feel like she doesn't have to try as hard to be as good as she is, and that's how I feel like Randy makes everything look.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
she's
mean,
so good.
she is legitimately a top 5, like, and even if it wasn't technically NIL, like NIL person that wasn't a
Yeah,
wrestler, that didn't
yeah.
grow up wanting to be a wrestler, that they plucked out of
I
college.
before it was a
Yeah,
thing. It's the same idea.
her,
Yeah,
Bianca, uh,
Braun, Breaker,
Breaker.
Cassidy.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, he was born
So
into
it's kind
it.
of a legacy.
Yeah. But her and Bianca, I think
Yeah.
I don't think I think E was one of those original, like, Mark Henry found him at a powerlifting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a couple of them, but Tiffany's just, she's like Braun right now, except for Braun's a legacy. Just the talent that these two have of only being in the ring for what, 3 years? Like,
I was gonna say three, yeah, two or three.
when,
She's
yeah,
blazed through NXT.
yeah, when she, 10 years, like, she's gonna be nobody better. You know, like,
She's gonna be the
uh,
top of these covers. She'll be a WrestleMania main eventer, I think, before real long here.
oh yeah,
I
and
think Trish is another good complex. She's just gonna be like the one.
yeah, Trish's thing though is, like, she was so not a wrestler when she first started.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
with TNA with Test and Albert. Yeah, yeah.
What a callback.
But yeah, no. Tiffany gets the win with the prettiest moonsault. I thought Roxanne was gonna get involved. She didn't, but it was a hell of a first title defense. Great
Yep, really
showing
good
for
match.
Tiffany. Bailey doesn't have bad matches. That was the smart thing to do for her first match.
Great first opponent.
No Wyatt 6. They
Now,
moved to
I don't know
SmackDown and
what's
no
going
Wyatt
on there.
6. Yeah.
Maybe after the Rumble. I mean, there's no reason to get them on before the Rumble, really. But hopefully that first Friday after the Rumble, we get a little something.
Yeah, I've heard people say that, like, they've already, screwed the Wyatt 6, and, like, and here's the thing. I don't want to go that hard with it, but they definitely didn't do as much as they could with them. There is a letting them cool too much, and
Yeah, and I think they did.
yeah, and I do think that's something that they have gotten very close to, if not already. The Karrion Cross feud was really weird, because it was
Yeah,
like
didn't enjoy it.
it felt really starter stop. Like, it was great when they were having their matches, but then it would be like 4 weeks without seeing the Wyatt 6, or
Yeah,
yeah,
no consistency.
no consistency whatsoever. All right, so that is our review of SmackDown for the week. It was a good show overall. We had a good
Yeah,
conversation. Just so everyone knows that watches, at least I will be streaming Genesis on Sunday. We're going to stream live on YouTube, and we're going to stream the pay-per-view. Court might be there, depending on what he has going on.
yeah.
Attic,
I have a crazy schedule right now, but I'll try to be
exactly.
there.
Attic might show up. We might have some other people. We'll see. But regardless, I will be streaming and watching Genesis live. Obviously, you won't be able to watch the pay-per-view on my screen, so you'll have to be watching it yourself. But you are more than welcome to come and join and watch it with us there. We'll be doing that for pay-per-views and shows like Saturday Night's Main Event and things of that nature. So everyone have a good night, and I will see you guys Sunday. And Court, if we don't see you on Sunday, we'll definitely see you Tuesday for the Raw review, man.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. All right, everyone have a good
Have a good
night.
weekend, everybody.
Peace.